just in case. So it's going to tell you you're being recorded. All right. Well, hi. Welcome to our Spain interest meeting. And so Spain is in 313 days from now, and we will be going to Barcelona and Madrid, and it's an 8-day trip. For the ones who don't know, my name is Shauna Jones, and I'm the co-founder and group leader for Waco Flight Program. I will be the group leader for the Spain trip. So I'm the ultimate, like your main point of contact and the person that is responsible for traveling with teenagers. My co-founder and group leader for Waco Flight is Mr. Schwinger. Basically, we are both teachers, educators who find value in travel. And so we kind of came together. We were both planning trips for students, but mine was a domestic trip and his was a abroad trip. And then my kids were like, why is he trying to go abroad? Why are you just trying to take us to DC? And I'm like, oh, okay, we want to do more. I was just trying to get our feet wet. And so we tried to get our district on board to it, and our district was like, oh, we're stepping away from traveling outside of the United States. And we're like, okay, well, because we find value in travel and youth education, we just wanted to make sure that we still provided our students with the opportunity to travel. So we came up with Waco Flight Program, and FLIGHT stands for Forming Leaders in Youth Travel Education. So we are a nonprofit. We're a Texas nonprofit organization. So if you know anyone looking to sponsor and help make students' dreams come true, please let me know. I'm in the middle of taking a grant writing program right now so that I can learn how to write grants to possibly help reduce the cost and fund and help fund for some students to attend. So it's a real dream coming all together. So really quick, we have our Barcelona little preview. And of course, I don't know why. We're gonna have to go through the little, you see nothing. But we're actually gonna be doing pretty much this kind of tour through the city, but on bicycles. So hopefully your kid knows how to ride a bike. We're gonna be those people on bicycles. Gonna pause it. So just kind of, I wanted to play the video of Barcelona because I'm really excited by the fact that we're going to be doing a bicycle tour through Barcelona. So we're going to be traveling through the city on bikes because as you can see, there's a lot of commuters in Barcelona and there's not a lot of vehicles in the streets. It is a active city. And so we will be going on a bicycle tour and seeing kind of like how this video went, having those similar experiences. For Madrid, we will be still in the city. So we'll be in Madrid for 3 days, Madrid for 3 nights, Barcelona for 3 nights. And so in Madrid, we are going to explore the city. We're going to go to the museum. We're going to do a lot of things, but just kind of we won't be doing the bicycle tour, so I didn't have the video. But for the most part, this is what we're looking at. As when we get to Madrid, we will have Euros, we'll have fun, it'll be great. So, and yeah, so that's just our introduction, getting us going. And now we're going to dive on into our agenda. So as you can see, our agenda, we are covering our introductions. So introducing me, hey, here I am. And then our itinerary, what's included, our travel partner, safety, price, and all the stuff that you would need to know. For our travel price, it is, because we're at the 9-month mark, it is higher than it was last year when we first introduced this trip. And so the closer, just like any other time you buy a flight or book a hotel, the closer you get to the trip, the price goes up. So just be mindful of that. So why I travel? I personally travel because I like to experience new cultures, and I am a person that loves to read. And when I get the opportunity to experience places that I've read about, it kind of like makes that full connection for me. I'm like, oh man, this is so awesome. And so traveling, I feel like I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned about the world around me, and it's made me a pretty well-rounded person, being able to travel with my family, solo, and yeah, so I want the kids to experience that. One of my biggest regrets in college was not taking the study abroad classes. And so if I can give students a little introduction to that, then hopefully they will not be scary cat like me and actually take the leap and do study abroad if that's something that they're interested in doing. So educational travel, it introduces new ways of learning. It provides innovative hands-on skills. Like we just went to Greece this summer with 30 students, and we did clay making. We went to ruins. You're learning, you're interacting with the world around you. And then there's academic curriculum, because this is also accredited, so they can earn high school and or college credit, which we'll talk about more. It provides just opportunity for students to discover what they're really passionate about. I had several students who are now looking into figuring out a way to go to school in Greece because they fell in love with the country, and they just want to know like more about it and spend more time there. So we're partnered with EF. It's Educational Tours. EF has been around for over 55 years. They have staff that is working around the clock 365 days. Like literally prior to our meeting, I was going through with my EF trip coordinator before even getting on here with you guys. They're in over 50 countries. There is an office in Madrid, and it's the world leader in international education. So there are other programs, but this is this was the first. This is the longest running, and they have a good reputation. When I was in school, EF was offering a trip as well. So my freshman year was when they were offering it. The problem is my mom, it was like a year after 9/11. So the world was still, a little weird place at the time. So my mom was very hesitant to sign me up for the trip, even though it was a trip that was for our junior year, my freshman year. My mom was just like, I don't know what the world will be like by then. And so I didn't get to experience that, which is, again, another reason why I want to bring this to the forefront for my students and their friends and even the parents, because you are welcome to join us on this adventure as well. So the accredited part comes from, you can earn high school credit. So for high school credit, it's basically a project, a during and a post project that you complete. Once you complete the project, you turn it into EF, and then EF will send you a transcript, and you take that transcript to your school's registrar, and you just now earn a half a credit of elective hours. So there's that option. And then for the college level, let's say you're a graduating senior, you can use this as a summer course. So it acts as your summer course. And for the college level, there is an additional fee, but it's because you're taking a 3-hour summer class. And so I think it's like 365, 370, if I remember. But for 365, 370, you now have earned an elective course that you can use at your college and roll over. So there's a lot of opportunity with the trip, which is what makes it study abroad. So for this trip, we are flying straight into Barcelona. So we'll land in Barcelona. We'll spend 3 nights in Barcelona. Then we'll travel by bus from Barcelona to Madrid. And then we'll spend 3 nights in Madrid. And then we'll fly straight from Madrid back to DFW. So day one is overnight flight. This is our plane ride. This is where kids get to experience flying overnight. And I think it's in Madrid. So on the way back, that's when they experienced the double-decker bus, the double-decker bus, double-deck plane experience. But it's a pretty big, I keep wanting to call it, it's called an Airbus, which is why I keep saying bus. But we fly overnight. So on the overnight flight, they get dinner, they get a late night snack, and they'll be fed breakfast all on the plane. Then when we get off the plane, we hit the ground running. We will be, once we are there, we will be heading straight into our walking tour. And so our tour director meets us at the airport with our charter bus. We'll put all of our bags underneath the charter bus, and then the charter bus drives us straight to the heart of the city. And then once we're in the heart of the city, we are now up and running. We are walking, we're exploring, we're seeing, we're doing sight. And then we'll end up going to an authentic Barcelona restaurant and have dinner there. And then we'll go to the hotel, check in, relax, get some rest, and then hit the day running again the next day. We'll wake up for breakfast, get dressed, drive back into the city. And yeah, so then we're traveling, we're having fun. If something may change, there's an EF app, and we'll be notified by EF if any of the plans change, anything alters. And so then we keep going. We're going to go to the Gothic Quarter. Day 4, we're going to keep sightseeing and touring, and then we're going to hit our bus. So we're going to get on a bus after day 4, and we're going to head to Madrid. On our way to Madrid, we'll have some stops. We'll stop in Zaragoza. On the way to Madrid, we're going to see some castles, and we're going to go to the Royal Palace. Once we're in Madrid, we'll take a tour. So Madrid, I'm really excited because I did my training to be a group leader in Madrid. So it's like, oh, I get to I feel like I've experienced it. So then as a teacher, when you've done something before your students, you're a little bit more knowledgeable, you're a little more excited because now I get to experience this with my students. And so once we're in Madrid, we'll take the tour. It's a walking tour, so it's a lot of walking. So we do walk a lot in Madrid. Be prepared for that. And as of right now, we are scheduled for all my soccer fans on day 7. If we have enough people sign up, we are scheduled to go to the Real Madrid stadium and get a private tour of that. So that's an additional cost, but we'll talk about that once you're enrolled, if that's something you want to do. Otherwise, it's more of like our last day is a leisure, explore, get all your souvenirs, try eating at different places and all that stuff. Then we will sleep, wake up, and head to the airport. And that's our journey once we start. So we're going to visit all the as many iconic places as we can. So the colorful works of is it Gaudi at Park Güell? Our art teacher, she's like super knowledgeable about all of this because she did her study abroad. She was one of the lucky ones that did study abroad, and then she did hers in Madrid. We're gonna visit the official residence of the Spanish royal family, and we actually get to walk through parts of it, so that's pretty cool. We're gonna eat. I love food. Tapas are everywhere, and Madrid and in general, Spain is a lively city. They come to life at night. It's really fun and exciting, and again, food. So our window right now is July 22nd to 29th. Hours should not change. The reason why it can't change is because as it gets closer to August, that pushes into like a lot of camps. It pushes into teachers having to be returned. Like I think we go back on the 2nd or something like that. But for the most part, right now, hours should not be changing, but we're scheduled for July 22nd through the 29th. However, we're supposed to tell you that there's always, depending on flight, depending on if our group is small, we have to join another group, that our date may change. So just keep it in mind that our trip can be tentatively as early as July 19th with a return date as late as August 1st, which this is highly unlikely. I've tried to make some safeguards to ensure that we are back no later than the 29th. So we get our confirmed date. So we fly out in July, and we usually get our confirmed dates and end of end of April. Middle April is when they usually give us our dates. And so when I talked about combining, we can combine with smaller groups. That's if we are not a private group. So in order to be a private group, we have to have 30 people. That's including 30 people, 30 students, or 30 students and parents, not including chaperones. We are people, but we don't count in that 30 to make us private. And so in order to be private, once we hit that 30 enrollment, which we've been able to do every year thus far, we become private and we don't have to worry about traveling with anyone else but ourselves. What's included? So your round trip airfare is included, all of your hotel stays, so six night hotel stay. You get breakfast and dinner for those 6 days that we are in Spain, and then you get dinner, snacks, and on the plane. Our tour director who stays with us, they're our immediate response. They're the ones that take us extra places, answers all of our questions, has to follow us around. They are there with us 24/7. They stay at the same hotel as us, all that. Our transportation, you worry about absolutely no transportation once you're there, unless you're an adult traveler and you're wanting to go off on your own, then that's a whole different story. We get our local guides. So there's someone that when we're doing our walking tours, when we're doing our bicycle tour, when we're doing any tour, when we go to the palace, there's going to be a person who is hired to explain what we're seeing, give us the history, and do the educational part of it for us. And then our guided sightseeing tours will also have someone there. And then all of your admissions to everything is already paid for. So the only thing is not is would be, like I suggested, Real Madrid. That's one thing that's not already paid for. So if we end up doing the private tour of Real Madrid, then that would be a separate. Okay. What are you responsible for? Your passport. You must have a passport. Okay. Baggage fees, you are allowed a small backpack, a carry-on, and a check bag. Your check bag cannot weigh more than 50 pounds. And if it does, then you have baggage fees to pay for. I traveled for the first time ever in my entire life with just a backpack and a carry-on bag. And it was like a new freedom. Like, oh my gosh, like I am now determined to travel like this all the time. So I will strongly encourage sticking to that backpack and that carry on only. So we collect our tips for our local guides, bus drivers, and your tour directors throughout the year. I try to do fundraisers so that those fees are covered through the program. So when we are doing like meal nights, if we do just like a GoFundMe, I try to do that to help reduce the cost of your fees and your bus driver fees and your tour directors, because those are not included in the whole price. And then paying for snacks and some meals. And the some meals is because every day we try to give students 2 to 3 hours of free time around lunchtime, and that's their time to explore, but it's in an isolated space, but we still give them opportunity to explore. And during that time, they're allowed to go and get food. They're allowed to go and sit down at restaurants and have meals together. So that would be the gist of it. So I think I asked students like how much were they spending on a day when they were during their free time, and some were saying like anywhere from 20 to 40 euros is what they were spending during their free time. Why I partner with EF? I partner with EF just because it's so much more than just someone who books our flight and finds our hotels. It's someone who is genuinely there when you need a question. Like before the meeting, I text my EF partner and I'm like, hey, I have a couple questions before this meeting. Are you free? And she immediately called me and was like, oh, okay, what do you need? Same thing. Once you're there, we use WhatsApp. And so on WhatsApp, once you're connected to your tour director, they respond immediately. They help the kids out, no matter how small it is. If they know it or if they don't know it, they're going to find some way to make sure that your trip and you are comfortable, satisfied. And I've yet to have any bad experience with EF now. It's a different story with flights, but with EF, it's been great. EF also, any adult that travels with us, because it's all about safety. Any adult that travels with us, parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, anyone 20 and up, they have to do a background check. And so they go through they pay for, EF pays for the background check, and they guarantee that everyone that's on the trip traveling with us are safe and secure to be traveling with us. And they run it every year. So like every year I have to do a background check, even though I just did it 10 months ago. They're like, nope, you're doing it again. So just all the safety measures that are taken. Our hotel is usually not in the city center. That's just to ensure that we're like in a more comfortable state. Also, it's kind of like my little trick to make sure, hey kids, you don't want to go anywhere. You can't go anywhere at night because we're not that easily accessible. So it just puts us, it's nighttime, we're home, we're gonna chill. They, if any health standards come up, they tell us beforehand, and just in general, anything you can think of to stay safe and aware on the trip. So you can look through all the EF stuff as far as educational partners. And if you need any help, or as we get closer, I will send out the information for if the student is wanting to earn the high school credit, college credit. And then this is also a good piece for students to include in college essays, like how you traveled, it changed your worldview, or you experienced something that you never thought you would because of this opportunity. And study abroad is something that is asked on a lot of scholarships, and now your student will have that opportunity to say, "Yay, I did it." So basically, your child is going to come home changed. Like they're going to have a different worldview. They're going to be more grateful for you working hard to provide this opportunity for them, and trusting them to be great and do all the things that they can in this world to be successful and all those good stuff. I'm sorry. I'm like brain fog towards the end of the day, but hopefully I'm making sense. But just know that it's totally worth it. And my students from our first group a few years ago, they still talk about it. They still send me pictures of, oh, you remember when we did this? We had fun. And I'm like, yes, tear memories. So your support staff for the travel is our travel team. So those are the people up front who are planning, getting things underway. And then we have our tour director who will be with us while we're there. And then our traveler support team, they're the ones that we call when we have a question, or something doesn't make sense, or we need help, or we need to make adjustments, or can we fix this, or can we change that? Um, don't worry, I ask a lot of questions, so they're used to me now. And then, of course, there's me, your group leader, and then will have chaperones. So we try to keep it a 6-to-1 ratio for student and chaperone. So for every 6 students, there'll be an adult chaperone, an adult that's responsible for those 6 students is our goal as far as our program. Just book with confidence. Just know that for our trip, we automatically, I include in our price the basic global travel protection plan, because I believe that when you are traveling, you should have some sense of travel insurance. And so it includes all of our travelers, coverage for baggage and property, trip cancellations, and any interruptions. And I will tell you that this past summer, due to the whole little computer glitch thing that happened at the airport, we actually are in the midst of using this right now. Like we had to use this. So if you ever wonder why, include that in your program, because you never know. But this is already included in our total cost. And you would see that on the breakdown. And so next, travel protection. If you, for whatever reason, need extra comfort and security, you can upgrade your trip insurance to the Protection Plus. Basically, you can cancel at any point of your trip and you will receive almost all your money back for the most part. This part right here is changed. Risk-free enrollment. It's a week from, I think it's October 1st. You can cancel up to 14 days after your enrollment tonight. So let's say you enroll tonight, and then fingers crossed, not true, doesn't happen. But 2 weeks before, like 11 days later, you're like, never mind, I'm not going. Excuse me. You can cancel up to 2 weeks, and then you'll get your $95 back. So keeping that in mind. Next, we have our EF does offer a scholarship. They give out scholarships, and I will post the information for the scholarship. Basically, you make a video answering 3 questions about yourself and why you want to go and how it's going to impact you. And they will give you, based on needs and merit, they will provide you with a scholarship. And you're just going to explain to them how will this experience change your life, what would it make you feel like, and basically I think it's $1,000 scholarship for each kid that receives it. And so the deadline for that is February 13th, 2025. So there is that opportunity to earn a scholarship through EF. I also take the videos if you would want me to. I post on our social media page as a sponsorship video, like, hey, I have this student and it's your video, and you explain, why you want to go, how this will impact you, and ask if anyone is wanting to sponsor this kid. And if someone sponsor you, whatever amount they sponsor you, it goes directly to your EF account, directly to reduce your balance on your account. So there's a lot of good things about doing that. And so that's where this fundraiser page comes in. Basically, it's a GoFundMe page, but you get all of the money. There's no fees for people to donate. So I know that people use GoFundMe pages. However, GoFundMe takes a percentage off. But if you use your fundraising page that's created once you do your enrollment, you get all the profits. So my niece went on my first trip with me, and so she used her URL code. She sent it out for Christmas. She sent it out for her birthday. She sent it out for graduation. Instead of asking us to give her money, she just kept sending her page link, and like each one of these events, we gave her senior night, we just donated, and it just automatically reduces her account down. So next, just everything we get. So the itinerary, the logistics, all of that we talked about. We talked about the payments. Well, we're about to talk about the amount of payments and protection, safety support, and personalization. So like, if there's something at once, if we become a private tour, if there's something you're really interested in seeing or doing or experiencing on the trip, once we're a private tour, we have the opportunity to personalize our trip. So once we hit those 30 people enrolled, then we will be put in a position to say, oh, instead of this, can we do this? Instead of this, or can you help me find? And so it allows us to be a little more flexible and have a more customizable experience. So flexible payment, how does this work? So up first, there's the biweekly auto payments. We are 9 months out from our last payment being due. So the biweekly auto payments would be $220, and it includes the $95 enrollment fee. Then there's the monthly auto payment, which is $440, and that also includes the with you putting down a $95 enrollment fee, then it'll reduce the cost just a little bit because that 95 goes towards your thing. Now, if you choose to not be on a payment plan, the total price per student is $3,959. Total price for an adult to join them is $4,599. And then tonight, EF, if you enroll by September 22nd, I think is what she said. Yeah, if you enroll by September 22nd, EF is giving a $100 discount off. So then it would be $3,859 with the discount. And so again, that's included. You pay the $95 enrolled. If you choose not to be on auto payment, you would be on what's called a manual payment. And with manual payment, they do add a fee for manual payment. Manual payment means that you can pay how much ever you want when you feel like it. However, you would have to be paid by the end of March because you have to be paid 4 months out from our trip, I think. So it would be by the end of March, you would have to make the payment if you did the manual payment. So what do we have? We have 15 spots available. Well, no, we have 16, so one dropped. We have, we're gonna say 15. Our enrollment deadline, because we are at under the year mark, our enrollment deadline is October 1st. Basically, at this point, we would lock in for the most part for them to start trying to find hotels and flights to accommodate our group size. So our enrollment deadline is October 1st. To secure your spot, it's a $95 enrollment. Once you enroll, then you will decide, are you going to be a manual or auto pay, and you go from there. And if you enroll tonight, our tour coordinator, she said that you will be entered into a raffle to win an additional $100 off of your total trip. So if you enroll, pay the $95, set up your account tonight, then your name will be entered into a raffle for an additional $100 off. And that is all that I have. So if you are interested in signing up, there is the QR code that you can scan, and I'm going to post the link. QR code for you to scan, and I'm going to post the link for the enrollment in the chat window as well, so that I'm going to try to post the link. I have like 500 windows open. I apologize. And yeah, so any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. I feel like an expert, so I can answer a lot of questions. I can hopefully. There we go. That. So in the chat window, you should have gotten an alert that that's been put there. And yeah, so questions, comments, concerns that you need addressed. You are so welcome.
I do have a question. This
Yes,
is
ma'am.
Gretchen Bronstein. What did the kids that went to Greece, what did they do about their cell phones? Did they keep their data on, or did they turn it off while they're over there? I just know that's a very expensive thing to
So
consider.
yes, so for example, I have AT&T. With AT&T, they charge $10, so it has international, which is probably one of the reasons why I switched to AT&T, is that they charge $10 a day for you to use their international fees, roaming fees. And I did that. So if kids turned off their data, then I was their point of communication. I was their line. All of the hotels that we stay at have Wi-Fi, and a few of the restaurants that we attend have Wi-Fi. And then when kids got really desperate, I just turned on my hotspot. But as far
But
as yes, ma'am.
their data off.
Yeah, so they have the
But I'm
choice.
saying most of the kids had theirs off.
Most of them actually kept it on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most of the kids actually kept their data on. Because I think Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T all have like a travel package or plan, and it's either $10 or $12 per day for them to use their data. And so, except on the plane,
Thank you.
no one did that because that's expensive. I did because I have to. As a group leader, I have to be able to be communicated with at all times. And so on the plane, I have to have data, and then I have to have data while we're out and about. And
Thank you.
you're welcome. And we use WhatsApp. So on the WhatsApp app, there'll be a parent communication group. And in that parent communication group, I'll send you photos, I'll give you updates, tell you when we've left the hotel, when we've returned to the hotel, when we are moving from one city to the next, when we've landed the planes. I send pictures of the kids, videos of the kids. So like just hey, they're here situation. A great question. Any other? Well, we do have this one. I know this is pretty short notice and coming up fairly quickly, but we also have our Spain. I have like two monitors and everything's opening up. We have our our Japan trip for 2026. If this one seems a little too early or late notice, this is our second enrollment meeting for Spain. It started last August. So we usually do two enrollments one in the fall of the year before, then one the fall of the year, less than a year out. But if you are interested in Japan, I also can send you information if you didn't already receive information on Japan. Japan would be our furthest travel. Yeah. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Well, if you don't have any, then we'd love for you to follow us on social media. Um, I have not got my bearings yet from nonstop going, but we do have a Facebook and we do. The kids encourage me to get a TikTok, but we haven't. I'm not really good at TikToks because it's not my thing. How many do we have enrolled already? We currently have. I don't want to give you the wrong number, so I'll tell you exactly how many we have. Our At this very moment, we have 14 students enrolled or staying. Yes. So we have 14 enrolled, and then we have two that didn't fully enroll. They marked themselves as interested. So, um, but yeah, all great questions. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Want to make sure I know it's a huge experience for your kids. It's also an investment into your kids. So I want to make sure that when you're making an investment this large, you feel comfortable with it and um, I can do my part. Miss Gretchen, are you talking? As if so, you're muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm good. I was talking to Brooks.
Okay,
Sorry.
it shows because it turns green when you start
Oh,
talking.
yeah.
And I was
Sorry.
like,
No,
I can't hear her. So I hope
no, I'm sorry. I was talking to Brooks answering, or I was asking him a question. My bad.
perfect. I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you. I was like, oh, it's green, but I
Sorry.
don't. So yeah. You're also so if you have students that that do not know me or do not go to Waco High, that's okay. We are a state of Texas nonprofit, so um, we are not limited to just Waco High. So if you have students that go to your church or other family members that are between the ages of 15 and 19 and are interested in the program, essentially you'll send me an email with their contact information and I will let them know, hey, we got this information from such and such and that you may be interested. And I send them a form just because it basically asks them to have a teacher nominate them. And I'm a big believer that if a teacher is nominating a student for something, that the student is obviously a good person to travel with. And so that's a little tidbit on students that I don't know personally, how can they be included on the trip? And that's just by, hey, I'm interested, and then I'll send the form, say, hey, um, can you give this to your teacher? And then your teacher can email it back to me, and we're good to go. But if y'all don't have any more, then I was trying to get y'all in and out in 30 minutes, so hopefully this wasn't too terrible. 30 minutes, it's 30 slides that I have to like do. I'm going to